Hi friends, welcome back. So, headline: Global rout deepens with US stock futures, Asia stocks plunging. I'm here in Korea. I can just tell you everything is red. We're watching Japan, we're watching the Korean market, watching the Chinese market, and again, the US futures are down. Crypto is down as well. And I thought of a couple means to sort of capture today. It's either force sell or panic sell, and that's sort of what retail investors are facing. This is a real thing, is that you just can't print money forever, guys. And I thought about this, right? One does not simply print money forever. The thing is with Japan is it looks like there's a lot of retail investors, and otherwise, not just retail investors, but a lot of people were over leveraged. And essentially, when your trade changes because Japan suddenly raised rates more than expected, and also too, then you have USA possibly cutting rates more than expected, it just sort of ruins your math there. And in Japan right now, you have the bank gauge down 13%, which is really nuts. So basically, they're kind of worried about their financial system over there. Moreover, it got so bad over the market in Japan that they actually closed it, circuit breaker, right? And they're like, yo, it's too much selling. Just take a break, take a pause. And this is what it looks like right now. And we'll be, updating this throughout. I'm just watching this stuff live. You're looking at what 11, double digit percentages on the banks. Sony's down, Toyota's down, etc. But it's not just Japan. It's all over Asia, and then we'll see how it affects the U.S. markets. But I'm assuming it's probably going to get ugly out there. Is that what the Nasdaq 100 is already down 3% in the futures. Japan, the last 3 days, it's been I think 20% from the top, and it's essentially wiped out all of the gains of the year. The markets are still open as I'm recording this, but it just turned red year to date. And so that's what I decided to make this video and just sort of share what's going on with you guys. We often talk about, and I know how it is, right? I do YouTube with you guys every day, and you'll hear, channels talking about the big one, etc. There's a lot of warning signs of this one. And there's a couple things I want to point out with you guys that are different this time around than in the past. Different in a bad way, I'll be honest. I just want to keep you all informed in this kind of stuff. You can see a headline here: U.S. stock futures and crypto prices sink after a painful week on Wall Street. So, we're all connected. That's the first thing you got to know is we're all connected, but we've been like that for a while, right? Another headline, right? Global stock rout intensifies. We also have this: 2024 most popular trades are unraveling. So essentially, people are taking profit, which is not unreasonable. I've warned you guys about Nvidia. I've warned you guys about Bitcoin and these kind of things. Sure, if you got in at the bottom beginning of the year and you're able to sell at the top, fantastic. The thing is, for a lot of people, like, you're just so used to the music playing, right? You're been seeing your accounts go up, and it's like, oh my god, it's gonna last forever. And I always warn you guys about people who are ignore valuations, meaning like ignore how much a company makes. I mean, it matters, and I understand to like the crypto world and stuff like that. You just feel like it's just a numbers on a chart, and for crypto, I mean, it kind of is. It's just like a big pyramid says Ponzi. As long as you keep people, feeding them the cheap money, keep printing the money, etc., you can keep it going. But there comes a point though when the math doesn't work out anymore, and you're basically forced to sell, and you're way over leveraged. And if suddenly you have a whole market that's over leveraged, this is kind of what you're seeing today. The thing that was been so alarming is how quickly stuff has moved. So that's been because I tell you guys every day, hey, it looks like certain things are overvalued. Oh, this market's be crazy, right? But then when it finally unwinds and happens at this speed, and I'm showing you guys this is Evergrande, one of their, I think they had an electric car thing. And Evergrande, if you don't know, that's the Chinese real estate company that went bust. And then, I guess they have other parts that are still going bust. Every time I check on the China situation, it's always the same. Like, you don't hear about news. It's a, how can I say, like, not transparent. And usually it's like, no news just means something worse hasn't happened yet. And so every time you get news, it's something like this, or the other news you get from China is like the government keeps trying to bail, various companies out, or they're trying to get consumers to spend. But the problem is like, I don't think the money's there. I think there's all these people out there borrowing money to buy your risky assets. So like, look at this one. Bitcoin tumbles to 53,000, right? Ether turns negative for 2024. And I've said this all along, until these crazy speculative cryptos or, wild meme stock kind of moves get out of the market, we're probably not going to see the bottom. And there's still money there. I mean, look at cryptos. It's still, as of recording, around 54,000, something like that. I think the top reached 70, something like that. We're also seeing these crazy moves in currency. So the yen gain. So this is it's showing negative, but this is in the view of the U.S. dollar. So the yen gained on the dollar by almost 2%. It may even be more. So it's been a wild swing. And again, I think a lot of this is propelled by leverage, right? Free money. You just can't keep printing money forever. And so that's why I was just thinking about this. We'll look back in history and we'll be like, we had this like massive run. In Japan, they had like negative interest rates. They were trying to, keep people to please borrow, please spend, please, keep going. And then they would take that money and like, buy US equities or cryptos and things like that. Similar situations in China where because we talk about the U.S. markets being overvalued in terms of historical PE ratios. I show you guys these kind of charts all the time, and it's just because we just got so much money flowing in. So it's not just the Americans buying U.S. equities. It's not just Americans buying crypto. This is a global market that we're looking at these days. And there was a headline. This is back in May 28th. And I just wanted to bring this up because if you have, and most likely if you're listening to this, many of you have U.S. brokerages or deal with this stuff, you would have gotten an email from your brokerage. You would know about this, that they changed the stock settlement, the date. They just basically made it faster. It's like a T+1. And it was interesting because if you read the headline here, it's the stock trade settlement moves to a single day as GameStop mania underscores the need for faster transaction. This headline right here really captures kind of the market that we're in, right? People on leverage, people going into risky assets. We're all doing speculative things, etc. I think crypto captures it, but this, captures it also. And it's not just USA. When USA, switches the way that they do their settlement, other countries around the world feel like they have to basically keep up with the USA. It's a crazy, wild world that we're in. And so then you get all this money flying around the markets, right? A global market essentially. And this is why, like today, we're seeing things move really, really, really fast. The back to the bank thing, I just want to mention a date here. They were saying here it was also the worst 2-day swoon. It was like, they're comparing it to right here to Black Monday, October 1987. That's regarding the Japanese bank. So, and Black Monday is not a good day. I think Monday which is just in a few hours from now. Like I said, I'm recording this in Korea, so the markets are not yet open in USA, but it could get real ugly. Well, we're going to see what happens here today. But I wanted to point to this. I've showed this chart several times on the channel now, but this is a really, really important chart. You can see here it says the top 10 biggest single day market cap gains. And essentially what it was just, this was back, what is this, July 31st, 2024. The biggest move in stock market history for a single stock in one day was NVIDIA. 329 billion was added to the market cap. Think how nuts that is, guys. It's like ludicrous amount of money. And NVIDIA has 3 of those big gains this year in 2024. Other ones, again, gains have all been the top 7 are in 2024. Then you have a couple in 2022 and one in 2023. Usually stuff doesn't move this much. And to put this in perspective, right? For NVIDIA to get like 300 billion in market cap in one day, I pulled up just a list of companies that are kind of around that $300 billion valuation. So just imagine it's basically like, you take NVIDIA and in one day you add the value of Coca-Cola. That's how ludicrous this is. Or you take NVIDIA and like in one day you add the value of Netflix, right? You take NVIDIA, you add the value of like a Samsung. I'm just giving you guys kind of like a ballpark, or add the value of Merck or Chevron. Like that's how ludicrous we're valuing this kind of stuff in terms of, or how ludicrous the stock is moving in one day. This is not normal. And so again, I think this is a reflection of all the money printing, all the leverage, and all the global money moving around. Now, also to add to this craziness in the financial markets, this has to be mentioned, guys. We have a lot of instability around the world. I was just looking at some stuff regarding what's going on in UK. And if we have members of the community that are in UK, which I know we do, I'd like to hear your thoughts of what's going on over there. I'll just read the headline here. Rioters try to torch, that's burn, Rotterdam Asylum Seeker Hotel amid far-right violence. They were like attacking a Holiday Inn Express. You'll find videos out there on the internet, but it's crazy. I mean, it's frankly crazy. And the way that it looks is like people are just fighting each other in neighborhoods. And it's all over the country in UK. It's like this. We haven't seen this kind of instability, I think, for like 13 years, something like that. It's bad. I mean, seriously, it's bad. I make no jokes about violence and stuff like that. It's bad. And you know, I hope for the safety for our friends in the UK. So I really want to emphasize that. But unfortunately, though, it's not just the UK. I don't know. Just this last week, we've really had a lot of it's just a lot of bad news. So like if you read look at these headlines. Report: Israel could preemptively strike Iran if intelligence shows attack is imminent. And I just thought this is like so like what's the right word? You could say ludicrous too much this video, or you could say absurd or just unreal. Is like, okay, Israel's like, okay, so I think Iran's gonna attack us. So we better hit them first. And it's like this kind of thinking. It's like, well, I mean, if we might as well just attack everybody, right? And then there's been talk too that multiple countries could possibly attack Israel now, and it's Israel like, well, we're getting reports that multiple countries are going to attack us, and I guess we better attack everybody. And so that's sort of why citizens of you know, the U.S., UK, Australia, France, and multiple countries are pulling their regular people out, right? Citizens out and giving notice you got to get out. Yeah, these kind of headlines aren't good, or it's just pretty similar idea. This one, Iran could attack Israel today. Netanyahu eyes preemptive strike, and I was just looking at this just a couple hours ago, and hopefully, let's hope cruel has prevailed. But I was even seeing a U.S. politician on the Republican side, so that'd be the Trump side. But guys, I want to make this really clear. Democrat or Republican, I don't think it makes much difference. They're going to back Israel, so that's just part of the U.S. politics. So anyone who tells you different doesn't pay attention to U.S. politics. That's just what it is. But it was like a Lindsey Graham was like, oh, we gotta bomb Iran's oil field. That's what he was saying. I was like, oh my god. So you guys know how I felt this stuff. I don't talk about the war all the time on the channel, but let's just say in general, I just don't want fighting anywhere, and I just in general, I don't want fighting anywhere, and I hope we can all feel that way. But I understand we live in a world where not everyone feels that way, and they feel like we have to fight all the time. It's frustrating. And so then you put this together with the other news that we're having. It's just like all this stuff is happening and just so fast, where, you know, literally we just got the news just yesterday that Buffett sold half his stake in Apple, which is supposed to be like basically the safest stock on the market, right? And, you know, I've been talking about Apple for a while, guys, where it looks like it's a bit overvalued. It looks like they don't have new products out. It looks like they're losing market share in China, like all these warning signs, right? So it's not like we didn't know that these things were a thing, but, you know, just you don't see it till you see it, till Buffett's like, yo, I'm selling half my stake. It's like really a lot, right? And so now he's sitting on a pile of cash. You know, is he looking to buy things? Who knows? You can ask Mr. Buffett. I mean, he's got $277 billion over there, so might as well buy Netflix while you're at it, right? And you know, that's the thing. I when we talk about this kind of stuff, and you talk about, say, someone like Buffett, he's lived through, you know, several crashes in his lifetime, so don't think everything's going to go to zero. I want to make that clear. Not everything goes to zero, but I will say, but your speculative stuff, that's the stuff you got to be really, really careful. Like companies that don't make money, things that have no fundamental value. So that's why I keep talking about the crypto stuff, that kind of thing. So Apple's still going to be around, but, you know, certainly they're in a different environment, in a different world than they were in the past. And you know, we're watching to see what other risks are out there. And that's kind of what I try to talk with you guys about all the time, with your money, with your investing, with your job, is to manage your downside, right? And have a backup plan in place. So for example, I just read this one. This is interesting. It says headline here: 1 trillion time bomb is ticking in the housing market. Talking about the U.S. housing market here. And the basic gist of it is you have all of these people who can't or can't afford it, either can't or can't get any, because there's these places where essentially their insurance companies won't insure you because there's just, you know, too much downside for them, too much natural disaster kind of stuff, be it wildfire, flooding, or whatever. And so then it's like, I didn't know it was this many. It says as a result, more than 17 million homes, representing 19% of the total U.S. home value, are at risk of suffering what could be a $1.2 trillion value destruction. They're underinsured, essentially what we're talking about here. And then these are the amount of sort of natural disasters that happen each year. So it's going up. So you essentially have your premiums are too high, and a lot of people are underinsured, right? So if you have more bad events happening, it could be really, really a problem. And you guys know, anyone who who is a homeowner, you know this stuff is serious. Take this stuff seriously, be it flooding, be it fire, etc. And this just happens to be in the news today is also that there's, I guess, a hurricane heading towards Florida. So it's not just the financial markets, we're also in the physical world. And, again, I feel like we're in this either forced sell or panic sell. And, when does simply not print money forever? Is this the end of the world, this kind of stuff? No, life still goes on. You have to have a sense of humor about this stuff. And it also just depends if you've been prepared. If you've been watching my channel, just guys, manage your downside risk. It's not the time to be over leveraging in risky assets. I know that a lot of people out there will say, oh yeah, buy the dip and whatever cryptos or meme stocks, whatever. I don't say that. It is true there will be opportunities in the market. That is true. But the thing that is, I guess, so alarming about what's happening right now is just how fast it's going, and just logically speaking, could you imagine that the Japan stock market goes down 10% in one day and then the next day goes back up 10% or whatever? It's but the craziest thing though, that's how Nvidia has been moving this past week or so. It's just been really, really unhealthy. But anyway, we'll keep track of this stuff. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think? This is what we're looking at with the Japan market. It just fell off a cliff just the last couple of trading sessions. And we'll keep an eye on these things. I always appreciate y'all watching. I try my best to keep y'all informed, and it's great to have a community together to where we can understand things as a community. So I'll catch you guys all in the next video.